everyone. Welcome back to ET Live. Today we're going to be talking all things Bachelorette. I'm Kristen Gill.
I'm Katie Krause. And Seinne Fleming is here.
Hi guys.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I feel like we should dive right into it, and then we have lots of questions for you as well. But let's start with last night's episode. I want to get into the Garrett of it all, because he dropped a major bombshell. He was previously married.
Yes.
And divorced.
And divorced.
Yes.
What do you make of him?
So when we filmed with her, we found out this information, and people get married and they get divorced all the time. I don't think that that is a deal breaker. The story didn't. I feel like there's some holes in the story, in my opinion. You brought up a good point, which was, that it seemed like he was placing all the blame on his ex. And I didn't even really think about that. I just thought that the way that it was explained, I didn't quite understand why, things ended. And I guess, he was young when they first started dating, but yeah, I mean, I think in terms of their date, they seem to have great natural chemistry, and it seems pretty easy between them.
Yeah, she said he gives her butterflies, and that's like, okay, I feel like that's, she hasn't said that about other guys.
Exactly. I feel like I struggle because them together, I do see that chemistry, and I do see her lighting up, and she's so giddy around him, and he genuinely seems like a good guy, but we've seen what's happened in the media with his social media accounts, and then when he was describing the divorce and the reasons for it, it was kind of like, yo, two people are in that marriage.
Yeah. His story, her story, and the truth. Like, there's something going on there, right? Like, because he's only saying his side. He's saying that the family she pushed his family away and all this stuff. It's like, okay, well, what was he doing to her? Like, I mean, who knows? Who knows?
I agree. I think watching the date last night, you could see that there's a natural chemistry. Yeah. He really likes her, which is nice to see. Yeah. It doesn't seem forced like with some of the other guys where they're just trying so hard to convince everyone that they really care for her, and it seems natural, and vice versa. I think what happened in the media in the beginning is a hard pill for me to swallow. He seems like a nice guy, but I just think I don't know if it was a lapse in production or ABC being able to really carefully vet him and other contestants, as we've seen. And I just think that because we all kind of know he might be a front runner. If he wasn't a front runner, I think things would have been handled differently in how he was handled in the media. So that's kind of my opinion about that. But I don't know him personally, and it's hard because it's like, liking something on Instagram isn't necessarily, who that person is, but it just shows a lack of concern and maybe a little bit of ignorance, which is kind of difficult, especially knowing Becca's kind of political beliefs.
I do want to ask you about one other contestant, Lincoln, of course, and there's been, he's been charged with assault. Warner Brothers released a statement and said that he lied on the background check, and I'm just curious about your stance on that, and if you think ABC should have taken more ownership in the background checks. What are your thoughts?
So, I don't know, I guess my feelings are mixed because I know that the background checks are very thorough.
Yeah, you've been through it.
Yeah, I've been through it. I guess the question is, if someone was arrested for something but not charged, should that be enough to,
not bring
them on the show?
Right.
Which I would say maybe, because especially if the case is pending. Yeah. I'm sure that that's something that they could have
seen, right?
Figured out if the case was closed or if the case was pending or, what the status of it was. I think, obviously, I get why they're not taking responsibility because they didn't know. I think obviously if they had known, then they wouldn't have put him on the show. But it shows, I think that coupled with the Garrett thing shows kind of maybe a little bit of a missing piece in vetting some of the contestants.
Yeah. Knowing Becca, maybe your 3 top guys for her.
Okay. Jason, Blake.
I'm so team Blake. Yes.
And I'd say Garrett just because I know
Yeah, and you can, I mean, the chemistry is very palpable.